Hello, welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I'm DJ. We're back in the reloading room again today. And today's episode, we're going to be continuing on with our shotgun series here on this channel. For those of you who've been following along, you know that I've got the Oak Ridge WMA quota hunt coming up on November 9th and 10th. And that is only 2 weeks away as of today, us making this video. I've only got 2 weeks. So it's really coming down to time to decide which one of these projectiles I'm actually going to use. So for those of you that are looking forward to the Oak Ridge hunt with the information about what I've got so far, that's going to be in the actual hunting video, hopefully successful hunting video from Oak Ridge. So I'll go through all of that process. But on today's episode, what we're looking into is we're going to be looking into the Federal premiums, because Federal did pretty good. So far it's in the lead. We're looking at the Truball. All right, this is a Truball, but this one is the Deep Penetrator. Really didn't pay attention to that when I bought these at a gun show. It does say law enforcement, but I just wanted a different style of Federal to try to see how it's compared to the Federal Power Shocks that have done so well. But what you've got to be careful of is there is a huge difference in the penetrators, Deep Penetrators, compared to the regular Truball hunting rounds. Now they both shoot a 1-inch slug. As you can see here, get the focus. Come on. Shooting a 1-inch slug at 1,600 feet per second. Right? 1,600. But then you grab this guy. This guy is running a 1-ounce slug, but is running it at 1,350. And that is the Deep Penetrator versus the 1,600 feet per second regular Truball hunting rounds. So in this video, we are going to be testing the Deep Penetrator rounds, not these 1,600 feet per second Truball. I am on the hunt to make sure that I have enough of these, because I would like to test these out and do the slug test, but I got to find some more boxes of these. So in today's video, Deep Penetrator Truball is what we're looking at. So for those of you that may be new to what we're doing here, basically what I'm doing is I'm taking that 5-round box and I'm going to put it through each one of these chokes. So we're going to go from Skeet choke to improved cylinder to modified to full to extra full. We're going to be running a box per. Each one of these boxes comes with 5 rounds in it, so we are going to be giving you a 5-round group, and we are going to be using it at 50 yards. Not to say that you can't shoot at 100 yards, I'm just not going to. It is a shotgun after all. And with some of the shot groups that we've seen so far, 50 is about as far as I'm going to push it. So let's go ahead and let's go. Real quick, what we are shooting it out of is a Remington 870 26-inch barrel with a Vortex Venom red dot on the top. And again, I will be going through each one of these chokes from Skeet to extra full. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let's see how the Skeet choke does. Oh, good Lord. That did not start out awesome. That is a 7-inch group out of the Skeet choke. Not a great start, guys. Not a great start. And that's also part of the reason why I said earlier that these groups are not awesome at 50 yards with these rifled slugs. So pushing it out past up to 100 yards is just not something that I'm interested in doing. So 7 inches, that's kind of rough. Looking at these velocities, we are at 1284, 1322, 1295, 1295, and 1252. So a lot less than the 1350 as advertised, but that's kind of been the norm. Most every time that we run something, the velocities are actually a little bit, if not quite a bit, slower than what they were advertised at. But that is a Skeet choke. 7 inches, not gonna work. Let's go ahead and let's move into the improved cylinder and see if we can't bring that in. All right, well, we brought that in, but it wasn't that awesome. That group came in at a 5 1/4 inch, so we did get quite a bit, 1 3/4 inch better group out of it, which gives us hope for the other ones. What I meant to mention earlier is that each one of these chokes, I will be giving you the actual diameter size, just in case you guys get into a different choke and it's got the similar size to what we're shooting here. I would hope that it gives you a similar pattern as well. But remember, every rifle, every shotgun is different. So this one, we only had 4 out of the 5 read on the velocities. We're at 1322, 1320, excuse me, 1321, 1322, 1312, and 1311. So we did see an increase from the Skeet choke to the improved cylinder. So there's something to say about that, but we're still not getting that 1350 as advertised. And with a 5 1/4 inch group, not awesome. Not awesome. So let's keep going. Let's move into our modified choke and see if we can keep bringing that in. Well, that went the wrong way. That is a 6 3/4 inch group, not the direction we were hoping to go with that one. So modified choke, we got 1303, 1291, 1289, 1292, and 1265. So we went back down on our velocity. So we had a higher velocity average in the improved cylinder, and we're going backwards in the modified. So there may be something there. I'll have to keep an eye on that, see how that works out. But that came in again at a 6 3/4 inch group. Not awesome. Right now, the best group we have is a 5 1/4 inch. So it's not looking really awesome for the Federal Deep Penetrator rounds. So let's just keep moving. Let's move on to the full choke and see what we can get out of that. All right, well, now we have a new worst group of the day. Now, as you can tell, those last couple of shots, the wind was starting to pick up a little bit. But again, I'm at 50 yards with a 1-ounce slug. So how much the wind's going to play on that is kind of hard to tell. But we're looking at a 8 1/2 inch group. So an 8 1/2 inch group, 50 yards, guys. That is not great. Not great at all. All right, so our velocities, we're looking at 1273, 1279, 1302, 1305, and 1286. There again, guys, we're not getting closer to that 350 mark that's advertised, but it seems like none of these are really given above 310 feet per second. And the improved cylinders seem to give us that little bit better velocities. So it seems like there is definitely something to be said about the velocities with these slugs. So 8 1/2, definitely, hands down, not going to use it with a full choke. So let's get into the last one, but maybe not the least. Let's find out. Extra full. Extra full, bringing it in for the win. That one is interesting because we didn't get those velocities that I was thinking that we needed. But we do have a 4 3/4 inch group from spread to spread, which is kind of nice because you see all those lumping there together and not kind of all over the place. So to me, that's a pretty good breadbasket. If you got a deer downrange and they're broadside to you and you put that red dot right in the middle of that, it's going to give you a kill shot. It's going to catch lungs. Hopefully it catches heart and a whole bunch of other stuff. So not awful, not awful. Shotguns, guys, we're talking a good job with a 4 3/4 inch group. That is not great. Now, for those of you that haven't seen it yet, I would suggest that you go back and you follow the link above here to the Power Shock videos, and they are the Federal Power Shocks, and those are running advertised about 1610 with a 1-ounce slug. But they still had a lot better groups, and from what I've seen today, this one has no comparison to these Power Shocks. So again, if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend that you go check that video out. So now that we've shot those and we know that our best group's going to be 4 3/4 inch, let's go ahead and let's get into the data. All right, so looking at our Federal Truball Deep Penetrators there, it is a 2 3/4 inch shooting a 1-ounce slug. We have all of our sizes here from Skeet to extra full, and the velocities that came with it. You also see that the improved cylinder is missing one there. An improved cylinder almost did come in at first today, which it is interesting to see that the 1321, 1322, 1312, 1311, 1316 that really did give us a decent group at 5 1/4, decent for a shotgun now. But the standard deviation was 5, so it was a lot closer on the standard deviation there. And then you got our extra full, which is also that ended up being the best group of the day, where the deviation was only 6. So he had 1284, 1294, 1293, 1296, and 1392, with an average feet per second of 1293. And then again, the deviation there was 6, the average deviation. I know it just seems like we went 1392 real fast, but the other ones are pretty on point. So again, we're looking at a 4 3/4 inch group. And then when you look over here, the average size given to us by this was a 6.45. 6.45. So that is going to land us in 5th place out of the 6 that we've ran so far. So not awesome. So basically the only ones that didn't do worse than this were the Federal shorties, which are more of a novelty item anyway. So Federal Deep Penetrators, the Truball, definitely not something I'm going to be using. Not when it is pretty much last on any viable actual hunting round. So there you have it, guys. 5th out of 6, with the 6 being a shorty, which is basically, like I said, novelty. Not really going to be using it for hunting round, but I did want to try them just to see what happened. But anyway, so these are basically, for all intents and purposes, dead last out of the hunting rounds that we've ran so far. Not awesome, which is interesting because Federal has the best group so far, the Federal Power Shocks. So it just didn't flip the bill on this one today. So guys, if you guys are still with us at this point, I just greatly appreciate you guys sticking with us and sticking with this channel, being part of this channel, being part of what we're doing here on Suburban Hunt 365. If you guys can, do me a huge favor, hit that like button down at the bottom. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. That would help us out so very much. And as always, please comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, other videos, what you would like to see, and how your season's going so far. Guys, I know many states the season has opened up, and I want to hear those stories if you've got them. Again, from Suburban Hunt 365, I'm DJ. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.